It's Saturday, June 18th, 2022, and it's just kind of a few odd jobs today. There's no bee work today. You can hear in the back there, my wife is cutting the grass. It's really long. Because it's been so wet, we haven't been able to get on the lawn even. So she's finally getting on that and cut that down and make the yard look like somebody lives here. I'm standing in the honey house because I've been doing a little bit of demolition here around the trim around the doors. I've got junk piled in my trailer here, and that's because I've purchased a couple overhead doors for my honey house. These old doors, they were junk when I bought the place over 16 years ago, and I've been fighting with them ever since. They leak. They can't keep the bees out in the fall and can't keep the light out in the winter for the bees. So we're getting new doors. Very happy about that. So I need to get a little bit of lumber from the store. So I've got to sell a few vehicles in order to buy a couple of planks. The price of lumber today is unbelievable. And then I'll be able to frame up some mounting points for the doors and take the old ones down and put the new ones up. I've reviewed some YouTube on how to do this, and it doesn't look like rocket surgery, so I think I can manage. Pretty handy that way, so we'll see if that's true. I'm also going to change my HVAC system here in the corner. I'll turn the camera around and show you what I mean. Last summer, I bought this really big air conditioner. This is a 220 volt air conditioner, 13,000 BTUs, really big, super heavy. And I just kind of cobbled together a mounting solution for last summer, and it worked great, kept this building cool. Why I want to keep this building cool is for things like storing creamed honey. Creamed honey likes to be cool. And also for bringing nukes in here when I want to relocate them in the apiary. I'll bring them in here for a couple of days. They'll sit and just kind of hang out, and then I take them back out and everything's good. So what I want to do here is I want to move my fan up more toward the ceiling. It doesn't have to go real high, but it'll go probably most of the way to the top plate here. And then I want to mount the air conditioner will be kind of, the top of it will be kind of maybe this high in there. And I've got a scheme in order to actually have my controller control the air conditioner. Instead of controlling all 3 speeds on the fan, I'll just control 2 speeds on the fan, and then the other relay will control the air conditioner. So if the fan isn't actually cooling the room to my liking, then the air conditioner will kick in and take over. So hopefully that'll work well, and that's just what's going on. Doing a little demolition, a little bit of demolition here. I've just taken the siding off of this side. This garbage siding anyway. Look at this siding. It's like pressed pieces of paper together, and it just does not hold up. So I just need to cut a hole, a little bit of framing, blah blah blah. Not rocket surgery again, and just need to do it. I'm just not sure how far I want to get into this right now. That's all. Start cutting holes in the wall at this moment. I'm not sure. We'll see. Maybe this will happen. I decided to take the blower out of the box. I'll just mount the blower straight on the wall, but I'm gonna mount it up more like in this area here somewhere. So I've got to box in a little area there, cut a new hole in the wall, and box in a little bit of an area just to mount it to. And that's not going to be rocket science. Here I actually put a header in here to support everything, but that's not going to be necessary if I stay between the studs. Sunday, June 19th, 2022. It's about 35 C out here. It got really hot very fast. Yesterday was, I think 25 was the high yesterday. And it's not going to be that warm tomorrow. Today sure ended up being a hot day. Girls are they're kind of washboarding here, but they're not washboarding. They're just staying still. They're just hanging on the front of the hive, fanning to cool off the hive. I'm going to take a look around the apiary. I'd say they're kind of hot. They're cranky too. They're banging into me. Stung me in the back already. Boy, there's one on me. She's got a mission. Beards everywhere. You can tell who's strong and who's not. Look at this one. Well, it's a nice day for the bees. Good day for them to do their thing. Their thing that they do so well. It's Monday, June 20th, 2022. See, I've got my little orange buddy here. I'm fixing to put this air conditioner in. It's a beautiful day. It's about 25 degrees C right now. And for those metrically challenged, it's a little better than room temperature. So the reason I've got my orange buddy here is he does all the heavy lifting around here. Unless it's more than 500 pounds, and then he won't lift that either. So this big air conditioner weighs a lot. I don't know what it is. Probably it's well over 100 pounds, maybe 150 pounds. It's 13,000 BTUs. And I'm going to try and slide it into that hole in the wall there. Hopefully the hole in the wall is big enough. I know it's a little too wide. It's going to have to be shimmed to close up the gap, but hopefully it's tall enough. Well, the big air conditioner's in. So I've got a little bit more space here. I planed down a 3/4 inch board to go right in there nice and snug. I planed down 1.5 inch plank to go in there nice and snug. I guess these things are sized to fit between two studs. Problem is I've got my cripples here to hold my header, and that brings it in even farther, but that fit just fine. And the bracket, got a big bracket out here. It's not the greatest, it's kind of near my door, but I'll do siding on this building one day, fix that up. I need to go to the store and get some bigger lag bolts. This bracket doesn't hold the air conditioner up, it just stabilizes it. So if that bracket fell off the wall, the air conditioner wouldn't come out. But I just want to put some larger lag bolts in there anyway. It's a tiny slope to it, so the condensate drains out. And that's it. Now I want to put my fan up in here, and yes, I've tested it. Got it plugged in here and it works great. Well, as done as it is, it's done. Fan is mounted directly to the wall. No more big box. It's quieter now too. Air conditioner's in. This is the power for the AC, and then the fan system just plugs in here. There's no switch for it, so just unplug it when I don't want the fan running. Okay, so next job, overhead doors. Gotta fix these things. Gotta tear them out and put new in. That's what I gotta do. It's Wednesday, June 22, 2022. So the last couple days I've been working on this. You may not recognize that this is much different, but you can kind of tell by the fact that it's not all bent up at the bottom. This is a brand new overhead door. Not quite done installing. I need to put all the tracks and things inside still. It's a big job. I've never done it before, and it is a big job. So that's the other old door that needs to be replaced. And so it's a good thing yesterday I had a good job to do inside, because it rained all day. Well, it rained almost all day. Pretty wet out here again. So today I need to get out to the bee yard for a few minutes. I need to transfer some cells, and I need to do another graft. I want to do another graft. Once you do the graft, then the clock starts and you're forced, but you get to choose when to do the graft. I'll show you a little bit about what's going on inside here, and just get an idea of what's involved in putting in new overhead door. So to start with, besides demolition, taking off all the old trim, etc., I trimmed this out. I trimmed this out with a 2x2, so that's 1.5 inches out now. I'm having a guy make some nice white metal flashing that will go right around, wrap right around. This 2x4 is a temporary, just to hold the door from falling out of the hole. And so this is very critical, because it has to be plumb and square, and 9 feet inside, that kind of thing. Because I'll show you this plank inside that I put in. That has to mirror this as perfect as possible, because that flashing is going to go all the way across here and across here. So it's not perfectly flush and smooth, but I'll fudge it a little bit. But I don't want to fudge it too much. I might shim it in certain places if there's a bit of a void. Over here, I couldn't avoid it. I had to trim this down, because this was not 9 feet from this framing to the framing on the other side. So I actually had to trim this. Use a combination of my Sawzall and a power planer. Scab this up a bit. That won't matter. It will all become covered in flashing when I'm done. There's a little bit of a void at the bottom there between the inside and outside, so I may have to put a bit of a shim in there for a bit of the distance up. And again, this is temporary to keep the door from falling out the hole. What you may not realize is the door is 9 feet and the hole is 9 feet, so the door will actually go through the hole. The door is not wider than the hole. There's a piece of trim, kind of a rubber flap that goes here and makes up that difference. So on the inside, Time-consuming part is getting the old system down, get the door down, getting the tracks down. I actually have to go up into through the plastic here to get these brackets down. This guy really cobbled things together and really wasn't sure what he was doing, apparently. The other side is going to have the additional piece to take down the opener, so that'll take a few minutes. Got a nice new opener to put on both sides instead of just one. So then you can see the inside framing that I did here. And you'll see, well, that's treated. Yes, it's treated. It doesn't have to be. However, you'll remember how much water was in my honey house this spring, and that'll get wet. So I wanted a treated piece for there. And then so that goes right to 8 feet, and then it's 9 feet between. So again, that piece there is exactly 9 feet, and the door is exactly 9 feet. So it's kind of neat how you do this, I think. You stand these panels up here, and you just put a bent nail in each side. And yes, that's what the instructions say. And then you put another panel on top, and you attach the hinges on each end, and you keep going up and attach each panel with the hinges, and then put the top bracket for the top wheel. Once you get those on, put your center hinges on, and those are just freeform. You just have to get those as correct as you can. And so now the kitty's in here helping. She's making sure I don't have any mice. And now I need to get these brackets situated just right. I mean, the brackets just kind of bolt on there, and then you need to get the track so that the door, you want about 1/4 of an inch between the door and this piece of framing. So I made myself some shims just now in the shop, and I'll put those in here just as a spacer, and then line that door up just right. Plus, you need to make sure the track is good side to side. There's a little stop here to keep that axle from going too far into this tube, and you don't want it to bottom out. But then there's slop in the track too. I can't really get one-handed. See, there's a little bit of slop in the track. So you just want a little bit of slack here, and that would probably be just about right. Because those axles kind of float. If there's any little bit of play in where that track is as the door goes up, those axles will float back and forth a little. So of course, once I get that done up, then I need to put the top curved piece on, and the track that goes all the way back here, and then put that great big big rod in the middle with the big spring, and that's the part that can kill you. So have to be really careful with that. And then it should be done, except for my opener. I need to put my opener on because there's no handles. There's no handles on the door, just those springs, or those those hinges in the middle to grab. So that opener really needs to go on there ASAP. So that's the hilarity that's going on in here. New doors, really excited. Kitty's excited too. See, she's checking it all out. I think she needs to go back outside. I haven't been to the bee yard in a few days. It's about 26°C today, and I think about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Quite a bit of activity here on the builders. And the apiary is abuzz too. So I need to transfer some cells from the starter to the finisher today, and I want to then do another graft for the starter, keep it busy. So I don't know, I didn't check my last graft. I'm actually late moving the cells over, which doesn't matter much. But I didn't check my last graft, so I don't know if I had any take, or if I had any, how many. So I'm gonna check that out and I'll show you what I find. Real time, I haven't looked. Okay, here's the results of second graft. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 25 out of 30. Okay, I'm happy with that. And I've left them in there a long time, so they're actually kept. So I'm going to move these to the finisher, and the ones that are in there will be capped and ready to be moved in a couple days to the mating nukes. So these are pretty fragile. I want to be very careful with them, and then I'll do another graft to put into this slot. It's Friday, June 24th, 2022. TGIF. This week has been mostly working in the honey house, and it's work that's long overdue, and it was a lot of work, and I'm really tired, but it worked out well, and it's a big improvement because I have 2 brand new overhead doors in my honey house. Those old doors were no good 16 years ago, and they're still no good. So we splurged for some new doors, and it was long overdue, but now that they're here, I'm so happy. Interesting process to install these. I'd never done that before. Watched a video. There's a guy by the name of Shannon on YouTube. He's a Canadian guy. House Improvement is his YouTube channel. He had the greatest tutorial on installing these doors. Now that I've done it, I know how perfect his tutorial is on installing these doors. The doors he installed on his video are exactly these doors, and the process he used was exactly what the instructions laid out for the doors. So big thanks to Shannon for his video. I think it was probably about an hour video, and I watched the whole thing end to end. It was really great. So I need to put my opener in here yet, and you'll see all the light around there. I'm having a guy supply some nice flashing for the outside, so I haven't put the trim, the rubber seal around the door yet. So, there's no seal there yet. So that'll get done here pretty soon. It's not a rocket science project, so it shouldn't get put off once the flashing arrives. And other than that, not a lot else. You saw me install the AC and move the fan. I've taken the drywall down up here with anticipation to keep doing it's called low rib. It's a siding product, actually. So we'll do some more of that sometime. And today I took, what did I take? 12 cells out of my cell finisher, put it in my incubator, and they were in there for a few hours, and then Buddy came and got them. Good friends who had a pretty bad winter, and I guess you could say they're kind of hobby level, but it's not a hobby for them. They're trying to make something of it, so they're always trying to grow and everything, and they lost a lot of bees over the winter. And another story like that, and I don't know why I was spared. And so I wanted to do what I could for him. I couldn't just give him a whole bunch of bees, and so I just told him that I'd give him all the cells that he wanted. So he came over, and he said he wanted 6, and he came, and I said there's 12 there. I said, deal is you take whatever you want. He took all 12, so that's great. Hopefully they'll emerge and mate and turn into really great queens. I hope. That would be really nice. So I have 2 more grafts cooking. There's one in the There's one in the finisher that is due to come out in the incubator, I think, on Sunday. I think there's 24 cells there. And there's a small graft in the starter of 13. 13 out of 15. Not a bad, acceptance. So I'm happy with that. And then Sunday, weather permitting, I'll do another graft. And that's really about all I have to catch up on. I haven't been making very many videos this week because this is all I've been doing is installing garage doors. And if you're handy at all, you can do this. You just have to take the right order of steps, and it's all laid out in the instructions. And they're actually pretty forgiving for the most part. Everything is adjustable. Everything's on slotted holes and everything to adjust. Once you get everything put together, you can kind of fudge it. And the one big thing is, it's not like a door. Like this door here fits in a hole, right? Overhead doors don't fit in a hole. The hole is 9 feet, the door is 9 feet, but the door sits inside the opening. So old building like this, nothing is square, plumb, all that kind of thing. I put my framing on. I did my best to make it square and plumb. No guarantees I did. But the door doesn't fit in the hole. The door sits inside of the opening. So if you're off a bit, it's forgiving. It'll still work. So that's one of the really nice things about installing these overhead doors is they're very forgiving that way. It's far more forgiving than a man door or something. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling now, and it's been a warm day. It rained a lot last night. It's muddy again. And there's more rain in the in the forecast. So I hope when my queens are mating here pretty soon, I hope the rain staves off and lets that happen. It'll be in July, so July is a lot better for mating weather. Anyway, have a great weekend, and hope your bees are well, and hope you're keeping well, and have fun.